I'm now going to click onto the page and deselect the images, and I'm now going to position these images as required. I'm going to put one image there, I'm going to put one image there, I'm going to move this across here, I'm going to move this image across to here. Very importantly to note is you will see that donut. This round circle is called the content grabber. We don't want to grab the content, because if we grab the content, we're moving the content out of its frame. Everything in InDesign is in a frame. We saw that when we were creating text frames. So we do not want to be that accurate that we actually grab the content grabber. I'm just going to undo that. To move the image, stay far away from the content grabber and just move it to where you require it. And I'm going to move this image onto that side. And I've now got this image, that image, and this image. Now let's look at aligning and distributing these images. Aligning means we keep them all aligned so that they are lined up with each other. I ensure that I have the black selection tool selected. I'm going to click and drag on all of these three images over here, and I'm now going to go to the Align panel. We navigate to the window menu, we select Object and Layout, and we select Align. Aligning implies that all the objects will be lined up to the left hand side, align the left edges. It's going to align to the leftmost edge. So you can see these images will align to the leftmost edge, and they are done. Distributing implies how much space there will be in between the images. So aligning and distributing go hand in hand. We can now choose to distribute the vertical centers, which has now distributed them pretty well. Should I require a numeric value, what I can now do is, with these three images selected, I can now just click on the one. You will notice that it has a blue stroke around it, and I'm going to distribute the spacing. For example, I can choose to distribute 20 millimeters. You can press enter, nothing is going to happen. We need to click on the distribute vertical space, and that is 20. We can now go and make maybe 30. Click on that button again, distribute vertical space, and I would say that that's pretty good. When you see this blue stroke around a selected image, it means it is aligning to a key object. So it's using your key object to ascertain the distances that will be moved. I'm now going to click and drag and move them over to that side. But let's move across to the right facing spread. I'm going to click on this image, I'm going to shift click on that image, I'm going to shift click on this image, and I'm going to align, but this time to the right. All the objects are aligned to the right. I would like to align this image to the top of that image so that they are in line. And I would like to align that image with the top of that image. So I simply go and click on that image, and I shift click on that image, and I'm now going to click on Align Top Edges. I'm now going to do the same on this side. I'm going to click on that image, I'm going to hold shift, and I'm going to Align Top Edges. And you will notice that the distribution and alignment is now sorted out. I'm going to click on that image, I'm going to shift click on that image, I'm going to align top edges. What I'm going to do now is I'd like to move these three objects over onto the spread. So I'm just going to select those three images over there. You do not have to go and click and drag over the entire page, just so that the cursor is catching the images at any point. I'm going to use the left arrow. As you can see, it goes pretty slowly. I'm going to use shift and the left arrow, and that will now bring it in so we have uniformity on the page. And again, an opportune time to file, save. Now that our aligning and distribution is done, I can close that panel, and I'm going to include some explanatory notes on these dishes. One of the challenges that we face now is that the restaurant or the client has not provided us content for the description of the dishes. So how are we going to overcome that? We certainly wouldn't want to put the whole project on hold while we await this content. So I will use placeholder text. I navigate to the toolbar, I take the type tool, the cursor changes to white when I'm in line with that image, and I click and drag and I draw a text frame. What I can do now is I can right click and select fill with placeholder text. So this serves us pretty well because you may be designing for the client and they'll say, well, how much space have you allowed for our description? So what you can do is you can just double click in there, select all of the text. Let's go back to the info panel. We go to window, navigate to info. You can now tell your client that we have used 453 characters, 69 words, 11 lines with a font size of 12. That'll give them an idea of what you're designing for. Again, I'm going to duplicate this placeholder text. Alt or Option, click and drag. Watching our smart guides, it is telling us with all of these green smart guides that now form a square that is lined up vertically and horizontally. And I'm going to click and drag again while holding the Alt or the Option key, and I'm waiting for the smart guides to tell me that everything is lined up. By that same token, I can use the selection tool. I can select just the text frames, and I can Option or Alt click across and move the text frames until they're lining up with the content on that page. And again, we file, save.